It's time to feel what you've been bottling up. Life in rural America isn't easy. The long hours, the constant pressures, the demands of the land, livestock, and family, it all takes a toll. We're tough and we've got grit, but somewhere along the way, toughness started meaning bottling up emotions and powering through. But here's the truth. That strategy, it's not working and it's poisoning us. Maybe you've noticed and maybe you haven't, but the numbers don't lie. We're breaking down and it's showing up in our bodies, our relationships, and in the rising suicide rates in agriculture. You don't have to carry any of it alone. There's another way. If you're ready to stop being weighed down and start moving forward, my one-on-one good movement guidance is now open. Visit the link in the show notes to learn more and see if one-on-one guidance could be for you.
I'll carry you, you carry me, we'll help each other through it. Come on and see, good movement draws good movement.
Welcome to Good Movement Draws Good Movement, the podcast where farmers, ranchers, and rural folks can grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Hey, it's T. I'm your host, and I, along with my guests, will be covering topics related to drawing good movement. Things like self and social awareness, brain science, positive psychology, extending grace, and so much more. We'll share tools that can help you understand why you are the way you are, why others are the way they are, and how you can use that to step out of self-told lies with grace and compassion to draw good movement in conversations, relationships, and life in rural America. Let's go draw good movement. Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast. I've got another short solo episode for you today. At the time of this recording, we are officially halfway through calving season and down to the tail end of the school year for the kids. And the tail end of the school year means track meets, parties, SO camp. In our case, for this year, rescheduled school because of some waterline work in town. So lots of fun happening with that. And I'm using the term fun with just a hint of sarcasm. It has also been 1 year since my dad died. And frankly, I'm tired. I'm tired physically, mentally, emotionally. I'm telling you this and podcasting about it because this is real life and I want to be transparent with you. And right now, during this season, I'm tired and I feel like the meh emojis look. Full disclosure, I did just type meh into my phone to see if those emojis were an accurate representation of the way I'm feeling, and they are. Can confirm they are. Anyway, I don't ever want you to listen to this podcast and think that I'm not about what I'm telling you and suggesting and talking about on this podcast, as far as the work goes, as far as the exercises go, as far as, what I talk about with emotions and processing them and all the things. I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. And so since I've been feeling meh, I thought that it would be a good opportunity for me to share some of the things that I've been doing to take care of me. The first thing that I'm going to share is my therapy. I started having regular sessions with a spiritual director who specializes in women's healing back in August of last year. And while Jada isn't technically a therapist, our sessions are therapy for me, and they have helped me walk through and process so much, including, but not limited to, grief. I thought I was doing okay for the first few months after dad died last year, but it became increasingly apparent to me as the summer went on that I needed some help. And I had participated in one of Jada's group programs, started that before dad died. And so I knew Jada and I knew her stuff was good stuff. And so I signed up for one on one sessions with her. And the work with her is hard. It's so hard. And honestly, sometimes I really hate it. I really hate it. It is so much easier for me to numb and just keep doing what I've been doing. But also, I know that while it's easier, that doesn't mean it's healthier. It's not healthier for me to continue on and do what I've always done. And Jada knows all of this. She knows that I don't always like what we do in the sessions. I've openly discussed my disgust. See what I did there? Discussed my disgust about some of what we do. I've discussed it with her in our sessions, but damn it, if it hasn't all been worth it. Like I said, easier to numb, but here's just a real tangible thing that I have noticed. All the years that I numbed, I was a fidgety person. I have to like color in the open areas of letters while I'm listening to a lecture, if there's a handout or whatever. I fidget with my fingers. I got to be tapping my leg or I have to be fidgeting. Since my work with Jada, I fidget so much less. Want to know why? Because all that fidgeting was emotions trapped inside of me trying to get out. Another thing that I've noticed is my eye contact. I hold eye contact so much better now than I did before. Again, because I'm not trying to hold in all these emotions that need to be let out. So, a couple real tangible things that I have noticed from my work with Jada and processing my emotions, again, including but not limited to grief. The second thing is running. Remember back in episode 14 where I talked about my daily walks? Well, the walks got to where they felt good, but they also weren't quite challenging enough. So I just decided to run one day and it felt good, but then I had to get new shoes because all I had was hiking shoes and those were not going to work for running. Actually, they really hurt my left foot. Because also in episode 14, I talked about my left foot hurting, but running in those hiking shoes did nothing good for it. So again, picked up running, but then I set it down when calving season started a few weeks ago. As it would turn out, though, setting it down for the busy season may not have been my best idea. These past few days, I've been really kind of meh, and I've been feeling the meh in my body. And in fact, today, Tom asked me, knowing how I've been feeling lately, if I'd been running. And I told him, no, I set it down when we started calving, but I think I'm going to have to pick it back up again. And he said, oh, because it's more about your mental health. And I was like, exactly. So I want to talk about this running just a little bit more because I tried picking up running about 7 years ago, but I couldn't keep it up mentally. Like it did not feel good. It felt hard. And since then, though, I have done a lot of inner work. And this time when I picked it up, it just felt good to run. So I think I needed to do a little bit of inner work to get back into running. But just being outside with nothing in my ears but the sounds of the road under my feet and the nature around me, which since we live in Nebraska, and right now, especially the nature in my ears is mostly wind, be honest there. But I did that little bit of inner work to get me going. And I thought it was the inner work I'd been doing that had helped me to run and enjoy it again, which it was. But it wasn't until today, like just today, when Tom asked me that. Well, maybe like a couple seconds before he asked me that. But it was today, just today, that I realized just how much running had been helping me with my mental and emotional well being too. Like right now, I think it started with the walking, but then I think I needed more. I just needed more movement to help me move the emotions through my body. So even though I've been taking about 20,000 horse steps a day, I'm going to be putting on my hot pink Asics and hitting the road again, running. The third thing that I do pretty regularly, almost every day, if not every day, and I've been doing it for a year and a half now, is listen to part of the Bible. I started at the beginning of 2023 listening to the Daily Audio Bible Chronological. So, Daily Audio Bible has a few different ways you can listen. I prefer chronological because they read the Bible in the order that theologians and historians, as near as they can tell, in the order that it was written. And I really appreciate that. But they have some other ways you can listen to. But Daily Audio Bible or chronological is my listen of choice. And they have an app and it's on a podcast if you're interested in tuning in too. But I have listened to the entire Bible once now in chronological order. And I am, however many months we are into the year, 5.5 months. I'm currently 5.5 months into my second time through. So I listen first thing in the morning while I'm drinking my collagen and colostrum infused kefir. Collagen and colostrum, not so much and the kefir for my mental health, definitely for my physical health. And so I'm going to link those in the show notes if you're interested in what I do there. But the moral of this story is I have found I really enjoy starting my day in the Word. And I really love listening to whatever the reading is that day instead of picking whatever suits me. Because before I would pick up my Bible and I would, look in the concordance and say, oh, I want to read about joy today and pick out something to read. But I really do like listening to whatever the reading is for that day. And I haven't started it yet, but I have also been considering adding in a short sit or meditation after my time in the Word. If I pick that one up, I'll report back and let you know how it goes. But those are the three main things that I'm doing right now to take care of me. Sessions with Jada, running, time in the Word. And with this episode, I just really wanted to not only remind you that we're all human and therefore we're going to have times when we struggle, even if we, host a podcast about good movement and talk about things that we can do to better our communication, mental health, emotional well-being. Because none of that, the good movement and the communication and the mental health and emotional well-being, none of that is a destination. It's a movement. And it takes continued awareness and adjustment. So with that, I'm going to end this short little vulnerable episode. And until next time, draw good movement. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. If you found value in this episode, I'd love for you to share with others who might also benefit from tuning in. Share by word of mouth, send it in a text, take a screenshot and post it on social media, or share however you prefer. And if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, draw good movement.